prominent migration case study is from Mexico to USA. Every year, more than 1 million Mexicans migrate to the US, particularly California and the southern states. The large number of Mexicans migrating to the US created big impacts back home and at their new homeland. But firstly, we must think about the push factors that drove Mexicans out in the first place. In Mexico, there are inadequate medical facilities, with only one doctor between 1,800 people. Mexicans work low-paid jobs, and the average hourly wage is only $3.49. Furthermore, 40% of Mexicans are unemployed, and 5% of the population is undernourished. Mexico includes many danger zones for natural disasters, and there are high crime rates too. What are the pull factors that make the US so attractive? In the US, there are excellent medical facilities, with one doctor between 400 people. Americans work better paid jobs, and the average hourly wage is $6.75. Furthermore, there are many lower paid jobs available for Mexican workers, and nearly 0% of the population is undernourished. Mexicans hope that the US is a safer place to live in with less crime. We can compare these push and pull factors to that of the Polish to UK case study. High unemployment rate and lower income push factors are similarities between the two. The difference between them is that the UK pull factor included high demand for skilled and semi-skilled labor, whereas there was not any specific job allocations for Mexican migrants in the US. So what are the impacts of the migration? First, let's look at the source region, Mexico. For any family left behind, they may have more money sent from the migrants to live on. However, this means that Mexico is becoming a dependent population. Decreasing workforce is a problem for employers because the economically active people are moving to the US. For shop owners, less people living there means fewer customers. One small village in Mexico lost 2/3 of its inhabitants due to migration. Lastly, there would be less support for the elderly, as the workforce left in Mexico wouldn't be large enough to support elderly welfare schemes. Now let's look at a destination, the United States. For the original Mexican migrants, they can earn more money and improve their own quality of life. However, most of them can't speak fluent English, causing cultural conflicts with locals. On the flip side, Mexicans have brought cultural diversity to the States. They brought in local skill sets, as Spanish is now taught in schools. For unemployed locals, migrants are taking away their job opportunities. This could lead to political tension. Mexican migrants have pushed the wage rates very low because they're willing to work low-paid jobs. This is good for employers because it saves their money. There may also be more police enforcement in the US, less resources, communal facilities to share between the population, and more traffic. So we can see that migration has many impacts for many stakeholders. If people could migrate without a passport and still be fully protected by the law, the mismanagement would create quite a chaotic world. In order to maintain a stable society, it is important to make sure migration between countries is limited. Only then can the negative social, economic, and political impacts as seen in our case study today be minimized.